fence at the end of the world. In the house with the yellow shutters, Greta always said the same thing. She said it while stirring the porridge, and she said it while hanging the linens. Bram, my dear, you may play in the garden and you may climb the apple tree, but you must never, ever go past the iron fence. The wilds on the other side are full of things that do not know how to be gentle. Bram would nod his head, but in his pocket, his fingers were always reaching for the latch. One Tuesday, the air smelled of damp earth and adventure. Greta went into the cellar to count the winter apples, leaving the garden quiet. Bram stood at the iron fence. It was cold and tasted of pennies when he pressed his cheek against it. Beyond the bars, the grass was not green like theirs. It was a shimmering, deep violet that seemed to wave even when there was no wind. "Just one step," Bram whispered to a passing beetle. "One step isn't a journey. One step is just a look." He lifted the heavy latch. It didn't creak or moan. It sighed like a secret being told at last. Bram stepped through, and the iron fence felt very small behind him as the purple grass rose up to his waist, tickling his palms. The wilds were full of wonders that Greta had never mentioned. There were flowers that hummed like bees and rocks that felt as soft as velvet cushions. Bram ran further than he intended, chasing a blue dragonfly that left a trail of glitter in the air. He forgot about the porch, he forgot about the porridge, and he forgot about the no that lived in his house. Near a silver-bottomed brook, Bram met Fen. Fen was a creature with the sleek body of an otter and ears like a bat, and he held a collection of shiny glass buttons. "You aren't supposed to be here," Fen said, his voice sounding like pebbles rubbing together. "But since you are, do you want to see the Sun Eater's cave?" Bram knew he should turn back, but the buttons were so bright. Fen was fast, much faster than a boy with heavy shoes. They ran through the brambles and over the shifting logs. "Wait!" Bram called out as his shoe snagged on a root. But Fen only laughed, a sound like a splashing brook, and disappeared into the thick mist with the shiny buttons. Bram pulled his foot free, but his shoe stayed behind, swallowed by the deep, hungry mud. The sun began to slide behind the jagged hills, and the humming flowers turned into hooting shadows. The wilds were no longer soft. The velvet rocks felt cold, and the purple grass tangled around Bram's ankles like wet rope. He was cold, he was missing a shoe, and he realized he could no longer see the line of the iron fence. He sat down on a cold stump and began to cry, his no feeling very heavy indeed. Back at the edge of the garden, Greta did not sit and wait. She didn't stay in the cellar or hide in the kitchen. She took her heaviest coat and her brightest lantern, the one fueled by star oil. She pushed open the iron gate, her face set in a line of iron and love. She called a name into the dark, a name that the wind tried to swallow but could not. The light found Bram before Greta did. It danced across the mud and the mist until it landed on his shivering shoulders. Bram looked up and saw the lantern, and then he saw the person holding it. He didn't wait for a lecture or a scolding. He ran as fast as a one-shoed boy could, and Greta caught him, wrapping her wool coat around his cold skin. That night, the house with the yellow shutters was filled with the smell of cedar smoke and peppermint tea. Bram sat by the hearth with a dry sock on his foot. "I didn't listen," he whispered into his mug. Greta patted his head, her hand warm and steady. "The fence isn't there to keep you small, Bram," she said softly. "It's there to keep you safe until you're big enough to carry your own light."